Real-life circumstances, real-life responses. Chapter 8. Being in connection with everyone. If you feel out of connection with someone, or you're afraid to talk to them, or you feel alienated by them, well, what a great opportunity to be at ease with your data. If you are afraid someone is going to scream and yell at you, how is the fear of the actual screaming or yelling itself going to affect open intelligence? It doesn't affect your open intelligence, and it doesn't affect theirs either. So, what is there to be afraid of? If you have been afraid of people who are angry, then to remain relaxed and easeful while the anger flows all around you is going to be a very, very powerful introduction to open intelligence. When I was growing up, I developed a fear of angry people. I didn't react against them with anger, but I had a lot of other clever strategies of manipulating situations to either quell their anger or rearrange the circumstance so the angry people wouldn't take over. Once I gained certainty in open intelligence, I found that there was no reason to be afraid of angry people. I saw that no one's anger could ever affect open intelligence. I found myself in a few situations with people who were going off either at me or someone else, but nothing happened. Any of these opportunities you have for a short moment of open intelligence are very valuable and exceedingly powerful. You see that you can be in all situations without impediment. It wouldn't have to only be with people who are angry. It could also be with frightening circumstances that arise, a feeling or emotion that scares you, a feeling of being inferior to other people or being nervous, uneasy, angry, sad or depressed or whatever the particular point of view is. But none of those need affect you. Everybody else could be upset, distracted, and disoriented, but through the instinctive recognition of the basic state, you can be with everything in a relaxed way. Short moments, many times in these situations, is exceedingly powerful. You begin to really stand tall, unruffled by all circumstances and able to skillfully respond from a balanced view. Completely resolving fear. One of the great fears that we have is being thought of as being stupid, and we will do anything to avoid that fear. Let's say that somebody says to us, "You're an idiot," then we may feel all forlorn and worthless, and we might not know what to do with those feelings. But wide awake within all the emotions involved with being told that we are stupid is the here and now of total perfection. By not believing in the story that surrounds these thoughts, we completely transform our stupidity into a moment of brilliant clarity. With certainty and open intelligence, we see through all these things that have always pushed our buttons. When we do get our buttons pushed and our habitual thoughts and emotions get started up, it's in that moment that instinctive recognition of open intelligence is crucial. This is the way to completely resolve the fear that comes from any of these experiences. It might seem odd to use the example of stupidity, but how many of us have ever felt stupid? These very painful data come up for all of us, yet we may feel that we're the only one who has them, and these types of feelings can be extremely isolating. Maybe one of our extreme ideas is, "I can't understand anything. I'm really pretty worthless." But when that appears, where does it appear? Wide awake within the feelings of being worthless is the here and now of total perfection. Everyone and everything rests in the here and now of natural perfection. No matter what the ideas may be, no matter what label is applied to them, they all appear in natural perfection. At ease with anything at all. Someone might have a talk with me, and they might tell me about something terrible they're going through, like for instance their husband or wife leaving them. I can feel what they're saying very deeply, and I empathize with their pain, but along with that I often tell them, your wife or husband has left you to be with someone else. What a wonderful opportunity for you. Congratulations! If something like that did happen to you, your partner left you, you had a heart attack, or you lost all your money in a financial collapse, all kinds of circumstantial thoughts, emotions and sensations associated with that incident would follow. However, what would fundamentally change throughout the entire course of events? Nothing. What remains steadfast and complete is the here and now, nakedly seeing from within. It's always like that, and it can never be any other way. Let's say that something did happen as difficult as your husband or wife leaving you. You could be writhing in pain, or you could be calm as can be, or somewhere in between. But even as you have all the variety of possible experiences, nothing actually changes. This is the nature of the here and now, unchanging, indestructible, just as it is. No matter what appears within it, it is unflappable, unflinching, unmoving. It allows for everything equally. What does that say about us? It says that when we relax our hold on trying to make things be a certain way, then we begin to experience everything as it is, and we experience ourselves exactly as we are. There may have been all kinds of thoughts, emotions, and sensations we've been avoiding, but once we give up the avoidance and we are as we are, open-minded and open-hearted, then we can be at ease with anything at all that appears. Your own clear example. If someone wants to argue with you and starts provoking you, that doesn't mean that you have to be in conflict with them. You can stand firm without allowing yourself to go into any of the difficulties that are often present in a situation like that. From wide open clarity, you have a lot more options about how to deal with people who are criticizing or provoking you. By securing yourself in clarity and allowing everything to be as it is, with no need to act impulsively or compulsively, you become clearer and clearer about what is going to lead to the best solution in that situation. You'll see what measures you need to take from clarity. You won't see the solution if you're lost in the conflict and all tangled up in the outpouring of emotions. By relying on open intelligence rather than the data that come up in a challenging situation, you can have a good and peaceful life, even in the midst of very trying circumstances. With more and more people committing to that, there can be more and more people who have an easeful and peaceful life. It doesn't matter what anyone else is up to. Be your own best ally. You don't want to allow someone else's negative data to rule you. With people who have exceedingly negative data, it may not be possible to get them to change. They need to come to the point themselves where they actually want to change. There may be many ways in which that change can come about, but one of the ways that the change is made possible is through your own clear example. As much as you might like everyone else to see the light or to undergo some kind of radical change, the best way to affect the lives of others is by focusing on yourself in this way. Keep the focus right there. This doesn't mean that you are self-obsessed or inattentive to the needs of others. It means that you are alert to your own data and you are not getting lost in your or other people's stories. It can really be painful to see what other people are doing to themselves, but it is not your job to make their decisions for them. You have to decide which mountain you want to climb. If you scramble around trying to climb a lot of different mountains, then you'll never master one. Don't allow yourself to be yanked off on somebody else's trip. If you've been wrapped up with people who are completely involved in negative disregard of themselves and others, now you can simply and easily inch away from that. You don't have to keep hanging out with the same people who are so extremely lost in their negative data. By strengthening yourself in open intelligence, you'll see that this is the case. Even if you momentarily fail to remember open intelligence and you get into some kind of negative conversation or circumstance with another person, as you recognize that you have done so, you can immediately return to open intelligence through a short moment of instinctive recognition. You'll see that you can have a life that you never dreamt possible. If you wrap yourself up in all kinds of conventional ways of dealing with life, it may seem impossible to be free of wholly negative circumstances, but as you gain certainty in open intelligence, you see you're totally free. You've never needed to be wrapped up in situations that diminish you. The very least you can do is to give yourself this incredible gift. I could sit here and talk about this until I'm blue in the face, but there isn't any way that your freedom is going to be recognized without your cooperation. It is recognized through the continual willingness to see who you are in a very fundamental sense and to never step away from that for any reason. You want to give yourself everything you possibly can in this life. You really do, and you're the only one who can do that. This is where the rubber meets the road. It's in standing firm and holding to your own true nature. Complete ease with the fear of abandonment. In a short moment of open intelligence, there is no description to worry about. There are no mental gymnastics about everything that went on in the past, what is going on now, or what will be going on in the future. Even if there is some kind of spontaneous thought that occurs about a past or a future, it is no longer something that causes distress. For instance, maybe we're in an intimate relationship and the thought might arise, "Oh, I'm so afraid that my partner is going to leave me." And the next thought comes, "I was abandoned when I was a little kid, and I've been abandoned throughout my life. So that's why I will be abandoned by this partner." Then yet another thought comes, "I'm the kind of person that people abandon," and so on. By following on with the innumerable thoughts that proceed from the initial thought, we create a story about ourselves. We think, "I am a person with a story, and whatever my story is, that's who I am. If I want to get over my fear of abandonment, then I'm going to have to create a new and better story that involves not being abandoned." So, we may go out and look for another partner to give us a new story about not being abandoned. And when we find that new person who we're sure won't abandon us, we feel that we can now enjoy a relationship without having any fear of abandonment. However, the only way to truly enjoy a relationship is to be at complete ease with the fear of abandonment and all other fears. Fear of abandonment is a thought that occurs to everyone who has ever had a relationship of any kind. In all honesty, everyone will be abandoned in every relationship because either we'll die or the people we are attached to will die. It may seem like the fear of abandonment is just a form of paranoia, but in fact it's entirely true. If we believe in the fear of abandonment, then it's going to be real to us and we'll have to have a story about it. On the other hand, we can examine its nature when it appears. Where is it really located? Can I say that it is something? Does it have a color or shape? Is there someone here experiencing the fear of abandonment? By relying on open intelligence, we come to see that the story we have had about the fear of abandonment isn't as fixed as it had seemed to be. We might have said before, I have the fear of abandonment, and I have it all day and I've had it all my life. But we can come to see that in fact these sorts of thoughts and emotions come and go in flash instants. The thoughts appear, stay for a while, recede, and then reappear. We might not think about abandonment until later when we wrongly conclude, that feeling of abandonment has been with me for every moment of the day. We actually don't have an unending stream of sequential thoughts on the same subject. It just seems that we do. Our primary identity is always open intelligence, and every single one of our thoughts is an appearance of open intelligence. By understanding our true identity as open intelligence, we are a lot more relaxed with the other information about ourselves. To recognize the basic state of open intelligence is the truest story. There's no getting out of open intelligence. No matter what kind of story comes up, it is never going to be in any place other than in open intelligence. By recognizing this in each moment of experience, the whole of life is much more easeful and relaxed. The context for decision-making. When we are all wrapped up in our data, often we just don't know what to do. We don't know how to choose the right relationship. We don't know where we should live. We don't know how to be fully satisfied with our work. And one of our big things is that we really have a tough time making decisions. When we are lost in all of these data, it is like being in a dense forest, and we are so confused that we are willing to look anywhere for hope. When we are lost in the dense forest and have to make decisions, we look up and see all the trees and we think, well, I am going to choose this tree and the other tree in the forest, and that is going to be my decision. Then the decision is made, but we are still lost in the dense forest, and we are wondering whether we made the right decision or not. We continue to wander in the forest of point of view, and this is what our life feels like when we are obsessed with all the doubts involved in making the decision. When we begin to rely on short moments many times, rather than being so identified with all the trees in the dense forest, we are noticing more the basis of everything. We start to see that we really don't have to worry. Getting all wrapped up in worrying and negative thinking is a choice. It really is. So we see the trade-off. By recognizing inherent open intelligence rather than spinning off into habitual decision-making methods, we find that there's an ease that's always the case. It is in that inherent ease that we find the most profound solution to the situation we are trying to decide about. It's not in spinning out the story about everything that's going on. For any situation that requires a decision, the best decision is going to come from this naked ease and clarity of open intelligence. Skill in daily life. Good conduct is generally defined as corralling our data into some notion of goodness. We act in a certain way, we think in a certain way, we speak in a certain way, and that is called good conduct. When we engage in good conduct, we may feel good about ourselves and we feel that we are contributing to the world. However, to think of ourselves only in that limited way is very de-energizing. We are not able to really experience the tremendous energy that is available in open intelligence, and we are not able to realize our full potential as human beings. That energy comes about by releasing ourselves from the need to see data as good, bad, or neutral. This is a very key point. This energy that is noticed from the first short moment of the instinctive recognition of open intelligence includes mental and emotional stability, insight, compassion, and skill in daily activities. It is a very powerful energy that cannot be accessed by trying to shape our conduct in some sort of contrived way based on positive, negative, or neutral data. The skillful knowing of how to act in the most powerful, supremely creative way comes from the instinctive recognition of open intelligence. It doesn't come from looking at all the data and trying to decide how to shuffle them around into the right picture of what we should be and do. That clarity, that clear open sky of awareness, is filled with the power of wisdom. Open intelligence isn't something to get to. It's already present. No matter what you're involved in, if you want to open up a greater space of creativity or to be able to resolve a challenging conflict, go to open intelligence. Do not go to data. More and more, all the words you speak and the actions you take are the words and actions of that powerful reality of wisdom. There's nothing more creative than that reality. It sees in a way in which data simply cannot see. Data cannot capture the super complete open space of the creative impulse of the universe. Your supremely creative and completely powerful self is in that moment of open intelligence. As you get more acquainted with open intelligence, you'll be filled with a true power that doesn't come from descriptions. It comes from the vast openness of the nature of reality that is always and forever wise and good. No more drama. Many of us have trained ourselves to live from one drama to the next. Especially in the self-help culture, people love to share their dramas. When we learn to relate to ourselves and to others in a problem-oriented way, it's because we see ourselves as a problem and we see other people as a problem. If we think that there is something wrong with us that needs to be fixed, then we're going to think that there's something wrong with other people and that they also need to be fixed. Sometimes we can be together with another person for decades listening to their dramas as they listen to ours, and we have a sort of cooperation where we acknowledge each other's stories. I'll listen to you if you'll listen to me, and we'll be co-hostages in drama and trauma. Some of us think we've got it made when we have people who will co-sign our stories in this way, but if we are living a life of drama and trauma, then we are only living a story-based existence. We may eventually want to seek relief in one way or another from the disturbing emotions brought on by our dramas. We seek this relief by avoiding the disturbing emotions, replacing them with something else, or indulging them in various ways. We might take the edge off with booze or other drugs, with sex, food, money, or shopping sprees. But whatever the antidote may be, it will never really provide total relief. These are just temporary antidotes that look like they're going to provide relief, but they never really do. To reach for the same antidotes over and over again expecting different results is a form of insanity. So we really need to ask ourselves, why keep doing something over and over again that provides no lasting relief? What are the options other than reaching for antidotes? Well, there is an option for all of humankind to rely on, and that is to recognize inherent open intelligence for short moments, many times until it becomes spontaneous. This is a solution that is fostered by realizing that our basic nature is already one of goodness and not one of dramas and traumas. When we recognize inherent open intelligence and we get to know the fundamental condition of our existence, then we no longer relate to people through a story-based existence of dramas and traumas. Our innate potential. There are a lot of popular self-improvement programs around these days, but the thing about self-improvement programs is that they so easily fall apart. For instance, we may have tried to create a certain type of life through positive affirmations, such as, I am intelligent and capable. I am happy. I am rich and famous. It could be that these things are all happening for us, but most likely they aren't. The strategy falls apart very quickly, and then we're back where we started. To try to get all these things into our lives is really not the best way to utilize our time and energy. When it comes to understanding the purpose of human life and our own innate potential, we have to ask ourselves, what is my ultimate power in terms of living a happy life in this moment? Have any of these self-improvement programs or positive affirmations ever brought me the peace and satisfaction I have sought? The beauty of relying on open intelligence is that there is increasing soothing energy, an increasing feeling of well-being as well as an increasing confidence in open intelligence, something which these self-improvement programs cannot provide on a lasting basis. What is called for is familiarity with the nature of existence. We could call this the superintelligence that is at the basis of everything and which has power over everything. It rules over all descriptive frameworks, those of money, position, possessions, self-esteem, success, and anything else one could strive for through self-improvement programs. By gaining confidence and certainty in this superintelligence, a whole world opens up to us that we never knew existed. Fearless in the face of fear. When strong fear arises in us, our tendency may be to seek out something that's going to stop our fear. We might look for the right book that will show us how to never be afraid again. We might take a medication that will deal with the fear, or we might try to live in such a way that we can avoid fearful situations. But there's another choice. We can maintain open intelligence for short moments, many times, and as we do so, we come to experience the fearlessness of open intelligence, which is being fearless in the face of fear. When fear appears, open intelligence is the fearless basis of that fear. This is what non-duality means, the not-to-ness of everything. When we are afraid of our own thoughts and emotions, we can feel very uncomfortable within ourselves. We can't stop these thoughts and emotions from coming, and we never know what form they will take. So, if we are looking to get rid of fear, then we'll always be disappointed. This is why it is of crucial importance to gain certainty in open intelligence. We can't stop fears, and we don't want to delude ourselves into thinking that we can. We can't count on circumstances or other people to make everything safe and all right, but we can count on ourselves. If something really terrifying should happen in which our lives might even be threatened, if we have fully gained certainty in open intelligence, then even though there may be a lot of fear coming up during the terrifying event, our connection will be with calm, peaceful open intelligence rather than with all the fear. Everything that appears is filled with fearless open intelligence. Even if fear appears in a totally gut-wrenching form, its nature is fearless open intelligence and nothing else. This is what is recognized in a short moment of the instinctive recognition of the inseparability of open intelligence and data. Completely count on able. Whether you're looking for the health of your thinking, health of your emotions, or health of your body, that health is in short moments of open intelligence. So, if you do things like yoga, jogging, walking, or whatever it might be, these are things to do for fun and enjoyment, but they won't lead to pure and perfect open intelligence. If you're walking, running, swimming, doing yoga or ballet or whatever you might enjoy, and you are abiding in short moments during that time, then you'll not only enjoy whatever you're doing more, but you will also be grounding yourself in your ultimate nature. Westerners especially are very result-driven people. We want results from everything we do. If we put a comb to our hair, we want beautiful hair to be the result. When we're doing yoga in our ordinary flabby body, we have a picture in our mind of the body we want to have. This is what I mean by result-driven. The only way to break through all this is in short moments. All the perfection we're looking for is in that short moment. That is where complete clarity is, complete power, complete emotional and mental stability, complete compassion, complete skillfulness. It's all in that short moment. Not only that, it's easy to take short moments many times. The momentum of that quickly picks up speed for everyone who relies on it. Why does it quickly pick up speed? Because one comes to see that it is reliable and trustworthy. In that first short moment, there is complete relief and a complete power of wisdom, and so it is count-on-able. We can really count on it, whereas we can't count on data to bring us relief. The perfection that we're always driving ourselves towards is in that short moment, but it's not going to be a kind of perfection that we have imagined or dreamt of, because it is beyond imagination. Let's just say that it's amazing. Total relief. Many of us have spent years working very hard in order to accomplish a lot. We effort and achieve some more until we say, what am I going to do now after all this effort and achievement? The idea is we have that at some point we would attain satisfaction and fulfillment are never really realized. The recognition of this can be a very dismal experience, but it is also wonderful because seeing that there is nothing to be achieved is really a crucial recognition. All kinds of things can happen in our lives. Great turmoil, confusion, desperation, bewilderment. Yet, these appearances that seem so upsetting, hopeless, desperate, and endless all have the same underlying basis. That basis is not separate from any of these appearances, and when we just rely on that basis, we experience the great relief that is the basic space of everything. It then becomes natural to experience our own being in an effortless way, just as it is, without needing to make anything out of it. The basic state is already absolutely present. Its recognition leads to total relief, and in that relief is uncontrived love and compassion. The more relief we experience, the more wide open and compassionate we feel. These things that we have always wanted, to love and be loved, to belong, to be free, are realized in the complete ease of our own being. There is nowhere else to look. If we are looking anywhere else, it will never be found. If we are looking anywhere else, we are always at least one step away, or maybe many steps away. When we already are who we are, how could recognizing who we are be a difficult task?